Hey everyone, it's Gavin Stevens, and welcome to episode 10 of Master Race Debaters. This week, and like every week, B Black joins me. We have a special guest, King Kimbit, rapper, intellectual, social activist, is on the program. We're going to be talking about Doug Ford and what that means moving forward in this new apocalypse. Also, we're going to be talking about only two subjects this week. We're also going to be talking about, in our white tier segment, Facebook hate. Can you troll someone? Can someone be upset about what you post? Come on, white fragility. Let's get it moving. All right, without further ado, here we go with another episode of Master Race Debaters. Here we are. I'm not even sure. It's June. What is this? What's June 12th. 12. Okay, but this is going to air 2 weeks from now. So, but here we are in Ford Nation. We've made it to Ford Nation.
I refuse.
I mean, how bad can it be?
I object.
King, you can't. You're in Ford Nation.
No, I'm not. I'm not going to call it that. No.
Think about it, man.
You can't make me.
Yeah, man. But come on, King. Stop being selfish, man. Stop being selfish. Buck of beer, man. I want that buck of beer.
Listen, if Thunderdome's erected, you can't not call it Thunderdome. It's just, that's the law. You gotta call it Ford Nation.
I just don't have to call it at all.
No, I guess not. Were you guys upset? Were you shocked?
You want to go first, or?
I try not to think about it. I shocked. It did hit me in some type of way, of course, but am I surprised? No, Trump did it. Why can't Ford? But I don't know, man. Mm-hmm. I got lots of feelings about this, and I'm just trying to not feel them. So they'll come back and punch me later.
Yeah,
I think on my end, I think the Trump election has prepared me for all kinds of future disappointments in life. So I am not that hit, but I do remember. I was telling this kid, the King. I do remember I saw a poster for one of the liberal candidates in our neighborhood, and the poster read, "Only John Fraser can stop Doug Ford." And what I thought to myself is, this dude is assuming that Doug Ford voters don't outnumber his voters. Because that poster is just going to trigger them to vote, against them.
Well, that's what I'm saying is after Trump, what I realized is those idiots that vote for Doug Ford or Trump have way more passion than I think it's like idiocracy, how everyone stopped having kids because they thought too much about it. I feel this is the same way with voting. I think everyone's pretty much if you're a smart person or half decently smart, does that make sense? Halfway smart, and you look at the political landscape, and you're just at some point you go, really, is anything going to change for me? Is there any real difference? Right? I think that level of apathy. I don't agree with it, but I think that level. Pardon?
I've gone through that.
Yeah, where that you just the system's going to be the fucking same when I wake up on Monday. And I think Ford people are so goddamn passionate. And here's the thing too, right? I've had Ford people get mad at me on my Facebook.
Word.
They're fighting, a lot of them are fighting against white genocide. If you got to fight against, seriously, if you're fighting against your own, even if it's not real, but your own genocide, you're going out to the polls.
You're going out to the polls.
And what you just said, how we might think, things are going to be the same anyway. I think that's their mentality as well. But then they're things are going to be the same as long as we keep it this way because this benefits us,
Yep. Ford used culture war. That's what we're battling in a culture war and not politics. I mean, I'm not saying it's not politics, but we've crossed the threshold way back when, and now it's a culture war. Now it's political correctness and freedom of speech and all these catch-all phrases that mean just status quo. That's all it means is let's keep the status quo and let's hear from more Nazis. It's I think that's what's happening.
Who was I talking about? Broke people or the poor and powerless. And okay, so I have a relative who's part of the broke and powerless demographic, so to speak. What do I mean by broke and powerless? I mean, he's in debt. He's not like, he doesn't own property. What do I mean by broke? He's not in Doug Ford's radars. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at, right? Mm-hmm. So, but he's convinced, and this is a black dude too, right? He's convinced because he voted PC and he made it sound like, yeah, man, Doug Ford's going to reduce my taxes. Corporate taxes maybe, but not your, he's going to, I guess it's when the benefits starts hitting him. Like, I remember when the last PC guy came into power. I'm making a point, right? And I didn't care up until the point that he started to close down hospital. And then he got to Montfort Hospital, which is the only French hospital in the community. And it's got historical value, and he was getting ready to close that down. My mom worked there, which means I'm now implicated in this beef. You know what I mean? Like that's like that's what I'm expecting to happen. There's gonna be a group of us of Ontarians who are going to suffer.
Yeah.
And then,
you know what that sounded like a bit, and I'm not saying exact, but it sounds like, when dudes are like, well, my mom's a woman and my sister's a woman. That's why I can understand women problems.
That's why women might be humans.
I can relate to you. It's being around a woman.
I bet is if you're part of the lucky ones, you won't be affected. The real lucky ones are the people who are going to be like, their bank account went up thanks to Doug Ford.
Wait, but does that mean that it would benefit me more to be a business rather than a person?
What's the difference at this point?
Is that what I'm saying? I mean, who are we talking about when we mean the rich?
Well, I guess people with money.
People with money, yeah.
But
there's difference in the States and Canada, right? Because middle class in the States is like 300,000. And but here it's less. So yeah, it's people. You're right. It's people with money. It's basically businesses. It's the 1%. It's the same 1%.
Like, what kind of businesses that make a lot of money, or businesses in general?
I think what the PC government does really is deregulate a lot of shit, or privatize things like healthcare. Right. So it's a lot of deregulation. So it's a lot of more wiggle room for business. But here's the thing: Liberal Party is like they're socially left, but they're very politically right. So like in Ontario, a lot the Liberals. Got rid of a lot of jobs and made them temp work. That was really shitty for a lot of people.
Okay, I was not aware of that, but okay.
Even though factory work doesn't have a future really if you think about it. But there's a lot of people just working temp jobs. That's the Liberal Party. Like we had them in power for a long time. They're better than PC, but they're not. I don't know. It's me. I don't.
They're not the NDP.
Actually, I was looking at the NDP, like the NDP rep in my neighborhood, looking at their flyer, and it was a lot of nurses, students. What else did I see? But you know what I didn't see in there? Eh?
People who actually help people?
Exactly. Yeah. What I didn't see is, how does this benefit me? You know what I mean? Like, more money in your pocket, tax cuts. We're going to get rid of all the people that scare you in your life, shit like that. Because that's what Doug Ford answered.
What are you saying?
What do you want?
I think. Are you talking about the PCs or the NDP?
NDP. NDP had a lot of, we're the party that helps other people.
And you're saying that you didn't see how they would help you.
There was no, how do you address the human greed? Like
they don't say we'll make you rich, we'll put money in your pocket right away.
Shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah.
But free dental.
What's that?
Free dental.
Free dental.
Yeah, that
People
was
don't
one of
care.
their
They got
proposals.
insurance.
You know, they got insurance.
They already buy free dental.
Free dental. That's for poor people.
Right. No, we already pay for free dental.
I'm not saying. I'm not. Don't get me wrong. I'm not talking against the NDP. I'm just realizing.
You're playing devil's advocate.
Something we forget is human beings' greed. The greed of human being. It's like that episode we did where we talked about allies. And for me, when I look at allies, I look at what's your self-interest in helping me out. Because I don't believe in. Because I'm a nice person.
Are you in a union? Are you in a union?
Sorry, what's that?
Are you
Am
in
I
a
in a
union?
union? I think. Yeah, actually, I am. Yeah.
I was too at law.
Well, that's one of the reasons why you would vote. That's why you vote NDP. They're for unions.
Because I'm in a union. Gotcha. Okay, no, respect. Right. Okay, good point. I can see a lot of the folks who voted
unions, right?
PC, they're like, look, how are you going to benefit me? Well, we're going to make a lot of minorities feel bad about themselves.
They're like
Perfect.
gangs.
They're like
all
gangs.
gangs.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
They're the most organized
Sorry?
gangs.
Well said. Exactly. With clout.
Who? The PC party?
I
I think
you mean politicians in general?
Yeah.
All these parties.
Oh, you're saying they're organized gangs? Yeah, I get it.
Liberals got liberals are red. I tell you, one of my coworkers, he told me that he was gloating about the fact that PC were the majority. Because you're gonna come to work wearing blue.
What up, cuz?
You know what I mean? I'm wearing blue, dude. It's to rob you.
Oh, yeah, I saw that post.
That's because I've changed my career to gangbanging.
So are you worried about I guess you're more worried about the culture war than the policy? Because like the PC policy, what was in it for you?
What was in it? No,
because I hear what you're saying. This is I'm trying to figure out.
He wants to make
You're
abortions
saying,
legal, right?
he wants to.
You want abortion legalized?
Pardon?
No, I think he's.
What'd you say? Sorry.
Did Doug Ford want to make abortion illegal?
I thought it was anti.
That's the thing. That's the thing. We don't really know what his plans are because he hasn't put anything out there to say what his plans are. Like he hasn't said anything. It's been a whole bunch of just don't worry. In the future, we'll take care of it. Don't worry, we'll take care of it. We don't really know.
Yeah.
So he was. I guess he was nominated or helped nominate. He was helped to get nominated for the PC party by, I guess, the Christian right.
Right.
So, but we don't really know what his plans are because he's flip flopped. So he's flip flopped on weed. Yeah. He's flip flopped on how he's going to cut taxes. We don't know anything. See, the last time in the federal election. When PCs ran, they said that they were going to have to cut 100,000 jobs, and that's how they lost the race.
Right.
So he didn't say shit this time, right? So he didn't say anything.
Yep.
So if he doesn't have to say anything, he's not going to lose votes. So we don't really know what he's going to do.
Yep.
We just assume what he's going to do based on who his constituents are and who he's trying to please. I don't know. I know that's something like when people say like I asked the dude on Facebook, he's like, "Oh, I'm voting for Doug Ford." I'm like, "Okay, what's his plan?" He never got back to me.
You never got
no
back
one
to you?
ever gets back to me.
Fuck a plan. He's a white man.
Yeah, well, it was a brown dude too, but he's like, and someone's like, "Oh, his brother was really nice to me." So
oh man, there's like a Toronto Facebook page. I forget what it's called. Toronto Business, something like that, right? And these guys are like, someone suggested voting for Doug Ford. Oh man, just these Negroes were killing me. It's like, God, man, he used to take all these underprivileged kids to his cottage, yada yada yada. It was just ridiculous shit, like to vote for him. Like it was just like, oh yeah, man, like lowered expectations type of thing like that.
Like he took kids to the cottage.
You know what I mean?
He sounds like a slumlord. It's reminding me of that scene in The Get Down on Netflix.
Oh wow!
What do you mean you haven't watched
man.
it?
How you gonna expose us on this podcast like that, man?
You haven't watched it either.
I've seen the first episode.
I couldn't. There's some. I watched I can't.
You know,
there's so much choices and so little time.
I'm out.
But the whole time I was like, yo, stick to rhyming, man. It's okay. Stay away from the movie business. Stick to rhyming. Holy shit!
He rhymes in the movies. He doesn't say anything.
Oh, he's in there.
Well, he's
Nas
his
is in
voice. He's like the kid as an adult, I guess, but like only his voice is in it. Like
Oh, well, anyways, yeah, I couldn't.
He's voiceover.
But I think it's
I'm
just
sorry,
the
you
theme
were saying,
song,
I'm
actually.
sorry. Slumlord. I'm sorry. We cut you off.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
like really takes advantage and like profits off of marginalization. He's like, hey, look at my cottage. This is a gift for like letting me pimp your misery.
Right.
Well, like even if you're taking someone's kid to the cottage, I'm not going to give you 4 years of my life.
You're not taking my damn kid to no fucking
Yeah, exactly.
cottage.
Oh, you
Doug
took my kid to
Ford?
the cottage? Okay, well, I'll give you a
Yeah,
month.
give you a month.
I'll buy you a bottle of wine. I'm not giving you 4 years of my life.
It was some anyways. Yo, that dude's scary. Yo, my dad, Christian man, right? He didn't vote for him. At least I don't think so. He's not known to be a PC person. He's been a liberal since he's been in the country. Anyways,
Yeah.
he's under the impression that Doug Ford was not involved in the drug game. It was all his brother. You know what that means? That means there's a lot of church folks who believe the same shit, which is probably why they back him.
It's his dad,
Yeah.
no? Like their dad.
Their dad was a politician. That's what I remember.
Oh, sure.
You think he was in the drug
Sounds
game
like
too?
a launder.
His dad, yeah.
Isn't
yeah.
that what politicians
The dad-
do? They're in the drug. Aren't they like by default in the drug game?
In the drug game? Yeah. No, but
Isn't
you start
being a
show-
politician part of the initiation for
Exactly.
drug dealers?
but these dudes had,
you
but
just
these
watch
dudes
The
have an
Wire?
article about how they were in the drug game by the Globe and Mail. And
Did you just watch The Wire? That's they're laundering
yeah.
all that that drug money.
Yeah.
through the-
That's what
Yeah.
actually, on a personal level, that's what the three things that bother me about Doug Ford. Take politics aside. One, the fact that all these white supremacy group are like saying, "Yeah, that's my boy, that's my dude." You know what I mean? That like they're hugging him. They're like, "Yes." They're celebrating to see him win, right? That's
They sound so black.
eh? Like, you know what I
They
mean?
sound so.
I usually I didn't use the N word. That's my N word.
Well, you just need different impressions. Is all I'm saying. Just a different voice. Just so I can get into it. For no one else but me. I
I
just
was like, ding, ding, ding,
Yeah.
ding, ding, ding. No, sorry, not my partner. All right, okay, I don't know how to do it.
I like how the impression. Now they have a banjo.
Yeah, he did the hand motions.
Now they have a.
Yeah, I can confirm
Now they
that.
have a banjo.
When I'm doing Jethro, the Klansman, that's my impression. Ding, 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 ding. You lost,
It's
boy.
dead on.
Yeah, that's so. That's three.
You're lost. You're lost. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying.
Two. How he was in the drug game, probably sold more drugs than all my favorite rappers combined. And now that he's out of it, he's talking about, yeah, law and order. We need more cops in these streets. Jesus Christ, this drug situation is awful.
And people don't.
Well, isn't
see
that what a politician is? Like a fucking
I know,
narcissist or a
but I'm taking
sociopath?
this shit
Like
that I'm
just-
taking personal. And the last one, and yes, by the way, this is a bit. The last one that pisses me off about the guy is he let the Christian right or whoever the fuck talk to his ears and say, "Hey, don't fuck with the sex ed curriculum. Don't touch it. It's perfect the way it is."
Yeah, but isn't that, I mean, like, I'm not shocked by that. Like, I wasn't even shocked that he got elected. I'll be honest. But I'm not shocked by anything that he does because it's like, oh, yeah, he's a politician.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Anyone that wants power, anybody that wants power is a narcissist. Anyone that wants power is a narcissist. That's just what it is. It's like they'll tell you whatever you want.
Yeah.
Because they just want power. That's
Yeah.
it. So
It's like an addiction.
Yeah. I'm not shocked that he's playing to his base.
Yeah. It's like the. Have you had friends? Okay, King block your ears. Sorry. Have you ever had friends that went above and beyond just to get in, the girls' pants, to get in some girls' pants? I'm like above and
Yeah.
beyond.
I
Yeah.
can still hear you.
That's a politician, except he wants your vote. I mean, that's how he plans on. So he'll tell you everything you want to hear. I mean, oh yeah, I like rap music too.
So King, how do we get through these 4 years? What are you doing? Like you get like a danger room or something? Do you store up some imperishables and hide in a closet somewhere? What do you do?
How public is this podcast?
It's a podcast. We can't afford to not keep it public. It's got to go out
Get
there.
her the reveal
Yo, I'm just focusing on me. Honestly, like I've been focusing on my personal healing because that's such an important and underrated thing.
Agreed.
about everyone, like I think we all have a lot of healing to do. Like we've existed on this earth for so many years. We've only absorbed like so much trauma, which has been like proven to pass down through DNA.
Mm-hmm.
So why do we not make healing a priority? Like why do politicians like not see that? Because they don't want to heal. They just want control and power.
To that point, Justin Trudeau has put 13 million aside for mental health services for Black youth. So they are kind of they even like I sent you an article about I guess it was 2015 how Nova Scotia is trying to fix the environmental racism. So I think I agree with you with that. But I do think there are politicians trying to do stuff, trying to help mental health.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's I think
not Doug Ford.
And like, there's so many different like ways to heal too. So like putting money aside for mental health, does that include like spiritual healing and our traditional practices as well, or like is it just Western medicine?
I have no idea. I just know they were putting money aside, which they've never done before. So but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if it's like if it's traditional or if it's Western or whatever. But I agree with you. I think people don't look at the importance of that. I think a lot of people kind of I don't know. I think there's an assumption that nobody has time for that kind of stuff.
Exactly. That's because it's not made to like be something important. Like we have to make time for school. We have to make time to make money to pay for things that we need. So why isn't like healing considered something that we need? Because like we would be in such a better place,
That's interesting.
And like we should pay attention to the indigenous folks and the original folks of this land who, are healers, and they have their ways that have been working for them. So, I mean, like, not to exploit them. We should not do that, definitely, and like we should, be careful what we're asking as well, and just acknowledge when we are asking for labor and all that, but.
But I think we also live in like where we have a lot of cognitive dissonance. Where we have this is the problem. I think we're gonna get into the second segment. But it feels like we have a lot of too much gaslighting happening. Where it's like, well, you're saying this thing, right? And then you have there's a whole group of people who elected a dude recently who say the complete opposite. So it's like one step forward, two steps back. I don't know if that's right, but it feels like it's just like this never-ending. And then that's where you get people going, it's the same shit.
You're like, why do we have to pay attention to them?
Yeah.
We need to build our own things, Like, this is a good start.
Tell you this, I am so uncomfortable having this conversation. And that's what this woman said before this, because I know what's in my heart. And I know that I don't think anyone is different, better, or worse based on the color of their skin. But I feel like there is nothing any of us can say right now without being judged.
All right, this is we're back. We're in the white tier segment.
Nice.
I'm sorry, my energy seems kind of low, but B always like it's like you and I are like you add that extra energy that I simply can't get. I simply don't have it. I never have it. It's life.
Hey.
Life is this energy for me now.
Should we mention that we are recording on a different day of the week?
Yeah, it's true, but you know me. It's the same. Yeah, I'm the same.
I think you'd feel better if you had popcorn. I thought you were going to be here. I bought like a big popcorn for us.
I live in Toronto.
What?
Yeah, I live in Toronto. I'm not.
You live in Toronto? Since when?
Well, I'm in Hamilton. Yeah.
Since when?
Since forever.
He was visiting last time we saw him.
I was doing a show. I was doing shows at the Ottawa.
Yeah, he was in town for a gig. Yeah.
But like, this is really good popcorn, so it might have been worth it. No, I'm just playing.
It sounds delicious. It sounds delicious. I got water over here, so it's kind of
yes. Stay hydrated. Yeah. That's important.
Got to. Mm-hmm. So so I got I I've been called a. Here's the thing: is I piss off white dudes quite a bit. I've noticed.
Congratulations, good for you.
You know what I mean? That's part of this, dude. That's
I'm very proud of you.
Is it? Thank you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I knew you would like this. I knew. To me, they approach the same way. They get very angry, and I was called a race baiter. Apparently,
yeah.
This is what confused me this week. I posted an article about neo-Nazis running for office in the States.
Yeah.
And no hyperbole. They were neo-Nazis. They were like
yeah.
totally like you got to get rid of the Jews and immigrants.
Holy shit.
And then so most people on my thread was like, "Oh, this is disgusting. This is horrible."
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, we live in times where every idea is valid. And then a dude came on and said, "Well, I think we should hear out every idea," which I was like, "Well, no, not every idea is valid." I mean, he's like, "But I think it's important. I don't believe in censorship." I'm like, "Well, there is maybe not. Maybe we do have freedom of speech, but socially we don't need freedom of speech." Also, this is an idea. Like Nazis, the idea has been debated. It was in the 40s during World War II, and they decided that wasn't a good idea. So the idea has been debated. We don't need to bring it back up. And then he got mad at me because he said that, well, the neo-Nazi stuff, neo-Nazi hate speech doesn't bother me. I don't mind. He didn't say specifically. He's like, it doesn't bother me. I think the ideas will work their way out because they're bad. He's like, I'm also against the idea of hate speech laws. And I said to him, but you're a white dude. How does this affect you? Right. And then all hell broke loose. and then some dude posted that I was a race baiter, and basically what I do is I post things that rile white guys up, and then they come to my. This is what he said. They come to my Facebook and I delegitimize them. Is that a bit of a narcissist thing to say? Like,
wait,
I know I say it a lot on this podcast, but
no, like I didn't see the thread, but it sounds like you handled it, and I have faith in you. But like, I haven't seen this thread, so let me guess some of the things that he did. You want to play this game right now?
That's one of the games I wanted to play. Yeah. Okay,
this is your idea.
Okay, guess. Yeah, because I read the thread.
Basically, more or less, he's like, "No, I must be included. It's not valid if I'm not included in whatever space you want to make for yourself."
Ding, ding, ding. Put that in there.
Even though this has nothing to do with me, like I'm white.
Well, the one guy said he's a redhead, and he added that. That's how he's included in it. That's his hate speech. And the other one just kind of backed away after he said I was a racist and I hate white people. Right.
That was beautiful. Shout out to the white guy who came in. Well, I think Gavin likes me.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's like it's a hit dog will holler, right? Like it's like you throw a rock in a pack of dogs. The one that gets hit's gonna cry. Basically, it's like the one who's offended's gonna cry out. My thing that confused me for a long time is like, can you troll someone with a Facebook status? Like, isn't that a weird? Like he's saying
totally
that I post stuff. Pardon?
You totally can.
Really? So he's saying that I post things to make white people mad.
Oh, well, okay, that's something else. Like you asked for the ability to troll people on Facebook. You can like.
Oh, okay.
That's possible, but what you're doing, like, he feels so entitled to your thoughts. Is like whatever you post, you must be thinking about him.
Bang.
Which I'm sure is not the case because. Yeah.
Well, he asked me a few months before he sent me a weird message asking me. He's been on the podcast.
Oh, word?
He was talking about how, a long time ago, first season. Because I
needed the money.
Well, I wanted to debate these guys' ideas in person, right?
Okay, respect, yeah.
So he was like, because he's all about class is more important than race and stuff like that. And then, I kind of like argued him out of that because I was like, you can't separate the two. You can't separate class from race and misogyny and all that shit. You can't separate it. And then... So he couldn't debate. So, but he asked me a few months later. He's like, "What do you think of me?"
Why don't you think of me?
What do you think of me? And I'm like, "Well, I don't really think of you."
Wow.
But I'm not trying to make this like, "Oh, poor me," or "Look what I had to deal with." I'm like, there's a narcissism involved, like a literal narcissism involved with white supremacy, I believe.
A little.
But okay. okay, first point I wanted to bring up. Okay, I'm gonna go in order. Right. Okay. I think high school did not prepare us for this in the sense that, you had 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th, 12th, and maybe OAC, right? But the thing is, when you were in 9th grade, and if you were an idiot, you had to repeat 9th grade, and the rest of us would move up to the 10th grade, right? You did 10th grade, and if you were an idiot, they send you back to the, you had to redo, and the rest of us would move up. Now in this society, they don't get rid of the idiots. They don't, rehabilitate it. They don't train them. They just stick around on your Facebook page talking about, hey, why are you saying all this shit about me? I'm fucking talking about you.
Can I take it a step farther?
Bring it.
Because I completely agree with you. I think now, even because of Trump and alternative facts and fake news, they've become everyone's an intellect.
Everyone. That's what. Kids are at the grown-up table now. That's what's going. Yeah, kids are discussing with the adults.
Kids know things, man.
What's that?
Kids know things. They're not stupid. Like we shouldn't underestimate them. I work with kids. Okay?
Oh no, but I'm okay.
No, he meant that like a metaphor.
But
You're dissing my analogy here. You know what I mean? I'm the comedian. You're heckling me.
I'm not heckling
that was
you,
a
I'm
dope
sorry.
ass joke. No, I'll mess with you.
No,
I see. No, I get
no.
your
I'm
point.
just adding to your point.
I was more like the open-minded and the narrow-minded are having debates or arguing with each other, not realizing that, wow, we are so not on the same page.
I agree with your point, but I also agree with King. Kids are smart.
Yeah, like yesterday, Sunday, I performed at Westfest, and like I didn't filter anything. And then afterwards, this kid who's like 12, him and his dad come up to me, and then the kid talks to me. He's like, I really liked your set because it was like really raw and like you just said what you had to say and you didn't like sugarcoat anything. And this coming from like this little 12-year-old kid who's like shorter than me. Look, you know how short I am, right? So like this kid is smaller than me, like kind of a lot smaller than me. And he's saying these things and I'm like, wow, like you appreciate the same shit adults appreciate about me.
You know what's beautiful about that moment? And something that I took away after reading your comments, Gavin, not your comments, but your interaction with those guys. A lot of what we do, we're in the business of new ideas, all of us, like the, I don't know, what's the word we want to use? Social justice warriors, the lefties, whatever. We're the people who, new ideas. Like we're trying to get rid of the old one, progressive thinkers, right? Women are in charge of their body. Human beings, every human being deserves respect.
Whoa.
No, that's what I'm saying. But it's considered new idea. But for these guys, they were so used on white supremacy, like that was normal for them. Exactly. So when they hear stuff like they claim they want equality, but when it's time to put action, it's like, no, holy shit, that's scary. Wait, what? I gotta watch what I say? I can't use the N-word anymore? Or, I can't refer to chicks as bitches anymore? You know what I mean? I did that on purpose. Anyway, but my point is, the old folks aren't gonna let go of the old ideas.
Yeah, Trevor Noah has a good segment on this.
The kids are the one, and that is so hopeful. The fact that he came up, like, I don't know, did his dad contribute, or was he like?
Yeah, his dad asked me if I teach as well.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I do. Shout outs to Youth Speak every Monday, 5 to 8 p.m. at the Ottawa Public Library main branch.
And that's what she's on, because she's smarter than us.
Well, that's my other point too. Is like talking about racism and talking when you talk about racism, it's like a different level of, it's a different type of intelligence.
Yeah.
Is there a jealousy to that we like?
Yep.
And this might be me feeding into my own ego, but is there a jealousy? Because he in the comment that I got, there was a point out a lot of, you don't know more than white guys. That's a comment he said.
You don't,
which is a weird fucking comment. And I'm wondering, and also that your only commodity is your skin color. But I wonder if that's a thing that they really want. They want to be oppressed, and they want to have the knowledge. They don't like being looked at as dumb. They feel dumb in conversations of race.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh my God.
Most definitely.
I'm trying to remember a comedian made a post about how women just want men to just agree with them, just to, like become pushovers. Exactly. Like he's taking, again, back to the being an ally. Sometimes you have to do the following. Sometimes, the experts are the people actually dealing with the problems. If you want to help out, you're going to have to take instructions. So when that dude said, and he's basically complaining about, so what, chicks just want me to agree with them? And my reply was going to be like, okay, if a girl was trying to explain to you how to make her come, you would have to be a pushover person. She's going to have to give you instructions. You're going to follow this instruction. You can't derive for those instructions. You can't be a free thinker or else you are not going to make it to the destination. Am I making... Was
Like,
that,
to me,
is that a weird point?
a pushover would be someone who doesn't follow the instructions.
Yeah, well, or a weak-minded. Well, I mean, it's like
doesn't even try.
I'll take your pussy eating analogy a little more.
I was feeling a little weird. Okay, thanks.
It's fine. Yeah.
No, what
You're
I mean
fine.
is it's like getting into anything, like getting into rap or getting into comedy, and when you think you're like good enough to be with the people that've been doing it for years. It's like it's Kruger-Dunning effect. You don't know what you don't know.
You don't know what you don't know. Exactly.
You don't know what you don't know. Like you ever see those amateurs that think, like I get it all the time. Where I'll be at an open mic working on material. Some amateur give me attitude like he's better than me. And it's like, well, you don't even know you don't know anything. You have no idea how many years, how long I've put into this.
But then
to assume that you can be on the same level as soon as you jump into a conversation is ridiculous.
Yeah, but the other thing too is white dudes were raised differently than us, right? And I mean in the sense that they were born to believe that we lead, we're in charge, we run things. Fuck, you know what I mean? One of us runs the enterprise. One of us is the king of the jungle. One of us is...
and we own everybody else.
We own everybody. We know what's best for everyone else. You know what I mean? Like,
well, we don't care what's best for everyone else. That doesn't matter.
You know what I mean? Women's issues, we'll tell you what your issues are.
I think they were breastfed for too long. I
didn't want to go there.
No, I really do. It feels like a lot of white dudes are like really sensitive and very fragile, and I don't get it. Like I just really like the slightest I don't know if he's gonna be listening, but the guy that was like, oh, I don't mind hate speech. I don't have a problem with it. I don't agree with it, but I can deal with it. Was upset that or when he posted when Black Panther came out. He came in and he wanted to debate me about whether it was good or not, and I said, "Not today, Satan."
Oh, that guy! Okay.
He was mad at me from then. I'm like, it was just a joke, dude. I was just joking.
Yeah, exactly. You had just seen the movie. It was the day of.
Yeah.
And he wants to talk to you about. Why you shouldn't have liked the movie.
And you said not today, Satan, and he thinks that's hate speech, or he agrees with hate speech?
No, he dragged that anger into this conversation.
Oh, this.
He's like, I can't comment on your posts because you seem mean. You're so angry. And
okay,
mean.
then maybe stop commenting. Like
that's what I said.
He doesn't like own the rights to comment on your post. You have to stop being so angry so I can comment comfortably on your post, which I'm somehow entitled to.
That's what I mean. Is you must get it a lot, King, because you post. Well, you too,
definitely.
B. You both must. You post more than me. You guys, I
used
I'm
to post a
your
lot.
shit all the time.
You used to post.
Yeah, now I've just been busy. That's all. But before, I would post some things that I didn't even think would be like controversial.
Yeah.
And then I'd get so many random angry white people jumping on my shit.
Not just dudes too.
Yeah, one time there was like dudes or something. Like I posted this article about it's the headline was all white people are racist. And if like you open up the article and read it, it'll like explain things. Some people just see that headline and it pisses them off. And they feel like they should say something.
Right.
I got a bunch of randoms like.
Right. A friend of mine posted something. Kathleen Wynne, what was it? Believes sexism, was a factor in her career. Something like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? But you should have seen the comment section, and you could tell they didn't read the fucking article, right? It's like, oh, fuck, yo, shit, dude, stop making excuses for losing, or whatever, and all kinds of things like that, and blah, blah, blah. And it was as if the dude posted a headline about the Earth is flat. I mean, yeah, sure, yeah, I'd get upset too. But she's sharing her perspective,
right?
How things were different as a woman.
If anything, that article, that title should be like, no, duh. Like it's,
it's like, no, you're not allowed to feel these things. You can't.
Exactly.
You can't talk about how you feel. You can't tell people this.
But
I know
it is interesting, the defensiveness to that, and this is what breaks my heart. Like I feel like okay, like the people, the white dudes that we're talking about. For them, this is probably a session of us making fun of them. But honestly, I feel your pain. I just can't explain to you, or I don't know how to find a mirror to help you see what you're not seeing. Like this.
But it's not like, why do we gotta go get the mirror for you?
I just high five King for that. I know it's true. Why do I feel
King
the
was
need
talking about.
to get the mirror
Like
for them?
we don't owe them. Well, like we do have responsibility to explain things. Otherwise, like people will never understand things, right? But like we also have our own limits and like, what we choose to tolerate or not. Like we don't necessarily owe people anything.
Right.
This is what you were saying in the last segment when you're like, we have to create our own systems.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but that's kind of it, right? Like it's like we can't. Well, that's what I was trying to explain. I was trying to explain to my friend. I'm like, he's like, if I saw you in person, you wouldn't act like that. I'm like, you saw me years ago.
Yo, okay. Sorry, continue. I have another thing.
I was just trying to explain to him that I'm at a point in my life where I don't censor myself for white fragility. I don't try to, I don't talk about my experiences thinking about what makes you uncomfortable. Because then I'm censoring myself, and you don't believe in censorship, so why should I censor myself?
Right. Ironic.
Yeah.
Ironic.
Right. Exactly.
What were you going to say, King?
So what I was gonna say was like in the battle scene actually in Ottawa, it's like super white. And then this one time I got
battle rap?
Yeah, battle rap in Ottawa, capital rap battles. So the scene is pretty white, and I made a comment about that once. And then this girl starts jumping on and calling me. She calls me, she starts being like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So you're saying we're racist and stuff like that. And I did not say the word racist. I just said it's pretty white.
It's pretty white, yeah.
That's all. And then she's like, oh, I remember when you were at the battle and this guy said something racist and you called him out. And then she's like angry at me for that. And then, yeah, she keeps going. Like she's calling me names and stuff like that. And like she's just so angry that I said the battle scene is pretty white. And then like there's like other people in the battle scene as well who are like, yo man, like I love you in person and like I love when you rap and shit, but like I can't stand your posts like online. And but it's like I basically say the same shit. But when I rap it rhymes. And like I'm kind of confused.
Are they
like
white?
I say
They're all white that say that?
Exactly how I feel when I rap. Like these things I'm just sharing other people's thoughts.
Right.
Are they
So
are they white? They're white?
I don't get it.
Are they white, those people?
Yeah.
That say that?
Yeah.
That's I think you have some sort of responsibility if you're in hip hop, especially like on that level of battle scene. You have a
I
responsibility.
don't battle though. I'm just there.
No, I don't mean you. I mean them. I mean they should have
them,
some sort of responsibility to understanding the black experience.
Right.
There's
some level.
There's
of
one
that.
guy in there. I think he's bisexual, so maybe that's why he like gets it more and is a little more woke. But like he on the post that I commented on, like he actually came like to my defense, and he's like one of the battlers. So
Okay.
respect for that, and that gives me hope.
That gives you hope. Yeah. It's the same thing for. I remember. What was it? So someone was talking about rap battling and the usage of the N-word, and it was cool. This was a white guy who was explaining how. I think he said no. I think he said the rules are black people could say it, but everyone else no, right? And then someone called him and said, "Well, why would the indifference?" So, well, we still respect rap as black people's culture. Like we're the visitors in their house, and that acknowledgement was beautiful. Like I mean, that's okay. That's human progress.
Yeah.
So that white person that said that it probably hangs out with a lot of black people but blocks their ears to, hey, you know what? Can we not talk about your problems anymore? You know what I mean? Let's just,
Hey, black
friends-
people can do that too. Black people do that shit too. We block our ears. Some of us block our ears from fucking shit.
Oh, no, almost that. Oh, for sure. I mean, you know, okay, and that's why I use the word narrow-minded people and open-minded. You know what I mean? I think it basically comes down to the narrow-minded. I posted something about that. I might share it on the MRD page about narrow-minded people, how they're so rigid in their thinking, righteousness, aren't open to new ideas, and the thing with like the world that we're living in now is all these marginalized all these groups that weren't allowed to speak out are now speaking out. So putting you in a situation where, oh, I'm living in a new world. But like that white girl that you were talking about, she's so stuck in her world of white person saying that, oh, there's a lot of white people in this, in the environment. First thing she thought about is, oh, well, if I said that about the black people, then I would have been a racist. You know,
it's also it's weird to me that people are trying to place the language of people who are being oppressed. You're trying to oppress the language. Like, you're worried about the language of people who are in shitty situations.
Yeah, but it's
like
classic, right? It's passed on from, like, it's always been like this. This is just a new level of it, right? Like, this is just the 2018 adaptation.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
like
it's That's right. It's silencing. I was just reading this article at the rabble.ca. Do you guys know Yusira Kogali? I'm not sure. She's the co-founder of Black Lives Matter Toronto. Oh, do you guys know her? Anyway, she posted some stuff. She said she called the prime minister a white supremacist terrorist, and then she said some other stuff. She tweeted that she asked God to prevent her from committing acts of violence. This is what they wrote: acts of violence. And she refers to white people, and she refers to whites as genetically defective. And I'm sure it's just
she's from the
and people are really mad at her. But the article talks about it's like, well, you have to understand the context of where these comments are coming from. It's coming from someone in a dire situation who's just fed up, and they're not making their language pretty for you.
Right.
It's just like, shut the fuck up. Really, it's like, shut the fuck up.
Right.
She's not right. Like, she's not right to go, all white people are subhuman or blah blah blah. But she's also, it's. You know what I mean? It's someone who's
I got a right to be hostile.
In a dire situation. Right, exactly. It's like read between the lines.
Right.
See the context of the situation. Look at what's happening, and not look at
how do they not logically see that would be the reaction for the thing she's been through, like the thing she is put through by them.
Yeah, the folks who get it, they understand, and the folks who don't, it's like, what's this double standard? How come if I talk like that, then take a step back to understand where she's coming from. That's the
moderates, right?
How do they not get it? I wanna add something to what we were saying about, like, or add on to how I was saying, like, we should like stop paying so much attention and be so invested in their systems, because the same way they say, show me who your friends are, it'll show you who you are. The people you're around influence you. So what makes you think systems that operate on levels we don't even understand, what makes you think like being invested in that won't make you influenced by it? You know what I mean? So I feel like it's best that we divest our attention, our time, our energy from these systems and I don't know, make our own. I don't know how yet. That's a different thing. But for now, I'll just go and vote until I can come up with a better plan. Oh.
No, that's pretty much it, man.
That's it. You guys okay?
Yeah.
How was the popcorn?
That's great.
Master Race Debaters has been a production of the Girls Night Out Network and recorded each and every week at the Girls Night Out studios in downtown Hamilton, with new episodes appearing every Monday. If you have comments, questions, or topic ideas, you can email us at gnopodcast@gmail.com. And to continue the conversation, you can follow Master Race Debaters on Twitter and Instagram at MRD Podcasts and on Facebook at Master Race Debaters.